in the book of Song of Solomon in the King James Version, chapter 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of the Savior of thy good ointments, thy name is as ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. Draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. While the king sitteth at his table, my spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphor in the vineyards of Engedi. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved, yea, pleasant. Also our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters are of fir. Okay, there's a lot here. Things that I was thinking of while I was reading this is, remember back in Exodus how the Egyptians were treating the Hebrews, Hebrew slaves, right? And the Lord had told his people that he would bring them out. It was already a prophecy. It was already foretold. And then the time came and Moses was selected to lead the people out of Egypt. Well, the Lord showed his great and mighty wonders, his authority over the earth. And what happened when the Hebrews left? They didn't just get up and leave, right? They prepared to leave. They prepared to leave quickly. But they were able to take. They were able to take and receive all kinds of goods and jewelry and things, all from the Egyptians. They were able to loot the Egyptians before leaving, and then they left. So while they were going out and while they had journeyed into the wilderness, they were adorned. They looked fashionable for that time. They looked, hey, what's happening? They had all their, a lot of things that you wouldn't think that abused people would have, but the Lord made sure that not only was he going to bring out his people, but he was going to bring them out in righteousness. He was going to bring them out in a way that they would want to be reflected of. So when I read this, I read just how much love the Lord has for us, for his people. And I read this in many different terms. So, for instance, in verse 4, draw me, we will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. And it continues on where it says, here in the verses where it says in verse 8, if thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. And he also says, I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses and Pharaoh's chariots, even though that this was not during that time. But it was well known that the Pharaoh had royal chariots, and they were very, very prestigiously made. And verse 10, thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. And they're describing the articles that they even are wearing, the articles that they have on, and how they look, and the representation of what those things are. Those are honorable, those are prestigious, those are distinguished. So the Lord, through Solomon, is talking about a relationship. Reading these as we see, and as you may see in your version of the Bible, because sometimes, like I'm just reading a generic King James, but you may see where it breaks it down, where it's him, her, the group of women, or whomever it may be, and it's breaking down into, may tell you who is speaking. And so throughout here, you may see the bride or the groom or the male or the female, or however it's going to break it down and to tell you who is actually speaking. But it shows that each person has a deep fondness for the other one, and they speak well of the other. They want to be around that person. They speak well of them. There's a longing there. And so looking at on the surface level, and looking at on one way that you can look at it, is a reflection of what the Lord said already, that the two become one flesh. The son leaves to meet his mate, and they become one. They become of one flesh. And so how to do that is like this: showing affection for one another, developing that relationship that is something that is continual, something that is beneficial to one another, something that is filled with the fruits of the Spirit, encouraging, understanding, forgiving, bringing joy. So absolutely, that is one way to definitely look at these verses. There's another way. And I want you to now take a moment and think about it in the Spirit. The reason why I immediately thought of the Egyptians and the Hebrews and how the Hebrews felt. They went through hundreds of years of enslavement. Their spirit, their well-being was kicked in the rocks over and over again. They were discouraged and treated as nothing. When we look at it in the Spirit, we can see even then the Lord was ready to bring them out and give them and provide them encouragement and say, this is what I look at you, and this is the way I see you. I see you. Thy cheeks, in verse 10, thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. The Lord sees us as diamonds in his eyes. He sees us as precious. Each and every one of us, you included. He sees us. Not only does he see us, and he knows the ins and the outs, the ups and the downs of us, but he believes that we are precious. We're made in his image, and he is like, I did an excellent job at this, and you know what? I love what I created. I love them. I love them. They are mine. And so looking at this and hearing this in the spirit, you can see just how much the Lord sees us. And he wants you to know, he wants me to know exactly how he sees us, even though through our faults, even though through our ups and downs, even through the sin. That's why he sent his son to die on the cross. That's why we are forgiven. When we believe in him, we are forgiven, and this is how he sees us. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?